Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, we ask that you please take your seats. We're going to get started in just a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the 40th Annual National Softball Hall of Fame Induction Ceremonies. Let me repeat that again. Welcome to the 40th Annual National Softball Hall of Fame Induction Ceremonies. My name is Darren Dystemars. I am the USA Softball of Michigan Commissioner and the Midwest Region Vice President to the Board of Directors. It is my honor to be the co-MC tonight for this incredible event. It is so great to see everyone here this evening. In many ways, it's like a USA Softball family reunion. We may not have been able to gather together for 2 years, but now that we are doing just that, it feels right and it feels good. And what better reason to gather with one another than to celebrate the very best of the best? Tonight we celebrate and honor 9 individuals for their accomplishments and contributions to this great sport of softball with their enshrinement into the National Softball Hall of Fame. At this time, I would like to introduce our head table. To my left is the Hall of Fame Chair, Stu Alderman. Next to him is our USA Softball President, Rodney Cobb. And representing the national office staff, and one who's responsible for helping put all this together, Dre McKee. And to my right, everyone should probably know this guy already. Probably don't recognize him. There's a little bit less of him here, as you can see. This is Mr. Craig Kress and his better half. It's Kerry Kress. We would also take the time to recognize Louisville Slugger for donating the Hall of Fame inductees engraved bats that they will be given in recognition of their Hall of Fame honor. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for Louisville Slugger. At this time, I would like to present the invocation. However, it will be just a bit different. In determining what to do or say for this invocation, I simply ask for your indulgence as I sing a song that I believe to be the perfect request for all of us and for our country. If so desired, please join me in the singing of God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairie, to the oceans white with foam, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Amen. Now, please, everyone, enjoy your dinner, and we'll begin the induction ceremonies when we conclude our meal. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are finishing up your desserts, we would like to get started and introduce to you the 2020 National Softball Hall of Fame inductees. Before we begin, we would like to take a moment to recognize our Hall of Fame members who are in attendance tonight. To our current Hall of Fame members, thank you all for your contributions to our great sport and for everything you have done for USA Softball. After tonight, this elite group moves to 421 people, and we are proud to honor them for their commitment to the sport of softball. Current members of the National Hall of Fame, would you please stand at this time to be recognized? Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the members of our National Softball Hall of Fame. We would also like to take a moment to recognize all of the family and friends of our Hall of Fame inductees. All of you have played a role in the accomplishments of our inductees, and tonight we also honor you. If you are a family member or a friend of one of our inductees, would you please stand at this time for a round of applause? And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage USA Softball President, Mr. Rodney Cobb.
Thank you, Darren. Appreciate it. Welcome to Oklahoma City, and it's great to be here in person. As Darren said earlier, it's been a 2-year, basically, hiatus that we haven't been able to see each other face to face and shake hands and talk to one another. So it feels great, and I'm glad you folks are here. I want to take just a second to congratulate all the inductees into the Hall of Fame this year. I also want to thank Stu Alderman, who's the chair of the Hall of Fame committee, and all the committee members for the great job that they have done in the past, and they have done this week too. So thank you very much. I want to thank Dre and the National Office for putting this together, and I look forward to celebrating with each and every one of the inductees and their family and friends tonight. So again, thank you, and Darren, it's back to you.
It is now my honor to introduce to you our co-MC tonight, Mr. Stu Alderman. Stu is the Commissioner for USA Softball of Metro Detroit and is the Chair of the Hall of Fame Committee. Stu's commitment to this association and the betterment of it is undeniable. He is a great teammate, and trust me, he's an even better friend. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Mr. Stu Alderman.
Thank you, Darren. It is indeed an honor to be here tonight to honor these 9 individuals into the USA Softball Hall of Fame. To begin our Hall of Fame induction, I would like to commence with a prelude as established many years ago by the famed Hall of Famer and former national staff member, Mr. Bill Plummer. The history of sports has been marked by the occasional appearance of an athlete who seems to have been touched by a magical hand, whose extraordinary skills are embellished by an intangible spark of greatness, an athlete who seems destined to leave an indelible stamp on his or her chosen avocation. Greatness assumes many shapes and forms, like the subtle colors blending into a deep blue hue, but in any form, greatness separates the legends from the mere mortals in the arena of sports. Proficiency and skill can be honed by practice and dedication, but the real outstanding athletes, the Hall of Famers, come to the arena with greatness already programmed into their personalities. The purpose of the USA Softball Hall of Fame and Honor is to recognize and honor those men and women who have played so brilliantly and competed so well during their careers, managed, umpired, sponsored, or provided that special touch to the game of softball. and who at the same time have contributed to the development and growth of their sport. Our first inductee for the National Softball Hall of Fame is an individual who was an umpire and a longtime commissioner. Phil Gutierrez's career has spanned more than 44 years with USA Softball. He first began his career with USA Softball as an umpire in 1975, moving up the ranks from high school to the ASA national level. Phil was selected to umpire 4 men's major national championships, where he received excellent ratings. In 2007, he was appointed as the Commissioner of Southern California, where he led SoCal to become the top association annually for team, individual, and umpire registrations. I first met Phil many years ago when he started our communications committee for USA Softball and took me under his wing. In 2011, Phil was elected as president of USA Softball, representing USA Softball at the International Federation meeting and events. A true leader in our association who has a big impact on many lives in the softball community. Tonight, Phil becomes a member of the National Softball Hall of Fame, now and forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Gutierrez.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, take out T-C-T.
Well, now I know why in the past so many inductees walked up here to the mic and said, and the first word they used was wow. This is certainly a wow moment for me. It's a pleasure to be standing before you. I love seeing so many of you here. I'm glad that you took the opportunity to come here and join us in celebrating what our organization does so well, provide services to our athletes so that they do what they do best. I'm truly thrilled, I'm privileged, and I'm grateful to everyone here, because one person cannot by himself or herself get to this level of recognition. It takes many, many people to help that person succeed. And I can say that probably everybody in here had a hand in me being up here tonight. So I'm grateful to each one of you for everything you did for me, because every day we learn. Even with some negativity, we still learn, because we learn not to do it again. So I thank you. It's really tough for me, because I just recently retired, and this organization means so very much to me. So to be here now in the class of 2020 as an inductee to the National Softball Hall of Fame. It doesn't get any better. Does not get any better. But, sorry, I'm losing my voice for two reasons. One, I've had a cold for a while, and now I'm getting rid of it, but the cough still gets me. And the other one is I'm emotional for this moment. I owe so much to this organization, so I tried to give back as much as I possibly could. And it hurts to move away, but I'm not going too far. I'm still helping out in Southern California, and I probably will also at the national level. Not as much as I used to do. Like I said, it takes so many people to get someone to this level of recognition. But there are always some special persons or organizations that help even more. And I have some of those folks here tonight, and I'd like to introduce some of them, or at least mention their name. Don't have much time. Dre will drag me off the mic here if I take too long. So I want to get to at least recognizing those that have helped me so much in my life and in my time as USA softball member. First, the first one, well, she's my rock. My wife, my partner, the one that keeps me up when I'm down, or gets me up when I'm down, and brings me back down when I'm up too high. But I love you, babe. And thank you. I apologize. I apologize for all those days, nights, weekends, weeks that I left you home alone so I could do what I love to do, softball. Love you. Also here tonight, someone who needs very, very little introduction in this group because he does a lot of work helping out at the national office and with the national teams. And that's my brother, Ray. My wife and my brother, my two best friends. No one knows as much about me as they do because they know everything about me. And I love them. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being my friend. Beth, his wife, who tries to take care of him, but I know she has a hard time. But thank you, Beth. And she also volunteers a lot of her time at the national office. So we thank you, Beth, for what you do. Now, next is my daughter, my one and only. What do I call her, Anna? My sugar. I nicknamed her Sugar the day she was born, and to this day, she remains my sugar. I'm proud, and I'm grateful that she calls me Dad. With her is Chad, is her lifetime partner, her husband, and the father of my grandson, who couldn't be here today, and I miss him already. All you that are grandpas out there, you know what I mean. 10 years old, couldn't be here because he had a prior commitment. He's an actor, 10 years old, an actor, and he's in plays this weekend, so he couldn't make it here. But that's fine. Also, sitting at some of these other tables here, just really quickly, first of all, Craig Kress. He's starting to look something like what he looked like when we umpired together back 30 years ago. Yeah, he says he was whiter back then, but still looking much better, looking good. And his wife, Carrie, my good friend, Kevin Ryan, and his wife, Sharon. I was a member of the original Deputy Director of Umpires group of 4, Jim Craig and his wife here, Jim Craig, L.P. Montgomery, and Jim Craig, I tell you, for the Hall of Fame, he belongs here. So please, let's see what we can do to get him up here. Hard worker. The best time I've ever had in softball was the years that I spent with that staff. I had to leave it to become a commissioner, but that's okay. They're still right here, and that's why they sit there, to include our good friend, JJ. Now, I know now that I'm probably out of time, but again, I appreciate all you have done. Those of you that are out here from the local associations, let's make them stronger. Let's make them the best that you can make them. Spend that time that it takes to make them do the things that need to be done to improve our program. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless softball, and God bless America.
Our second inductee is a 2-time Olympian medalist, capturing a gold medal in 2004 in Athens, Greece, and a silver medal in 2008 in Beijing, China. One of the best and smartest infielders to ever play the game of softball. Lovey Ann was not only an Olympian, but she was also a 2-time Pan American Games gold medalist and a 2-time WBSB World Champion. Lovey was an 8-year team member of the United States Women's National Team. Lovey had a keen eye for the game as she guided the team defense strategies, calling all coverages and positioning the defense for opposing offenses. Her tremendous skill set, combined with her knowledge of the sport, allowed her to be the most proactive player on the field, always seeing things and planning ahead before the plays occurred. Lovey was also a star softball player at the University of Arizona, playing under Hall of Famer Mike Candrea. A comment from Lovey in 2019, "Why be good when you can be great?" And that she was. Tonight, Lovey becomes a member of the National Softball Hall of Fame, now and forever. Unfortunately, Lovey is unable to be here with us tonight as she just had a baby, but accepting on her Hall of Fame honor on her behalf is Hall of Famer Mike Candrea. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Candrea.
A dying star, white lies, it's a man on fire, making love with the devil hurts. Time's up.
Well, thank you. I'm actually going to use some technology tonight, which is unusual for me, but It's an honor for me to stand here representing Lovey Jung, and I want to, first of all, congratulate all the inductees. What a great moment, one that you'll never forget in your life. But for me, a very special night because I get to be here to see the best middle infield that's ever played the game, Natasha Watley and Lovey Jung going in together. So it's a double-edged sword for me, but very, very proud of Lovey and what she did. And so I forced her to write her own speech. Only fitting. So this is the words of Lovey coming to you. I am extremely humbled to be a part of a great legacy. USA softball has always been a dream that came true with the support of many people in my life. First and foremost, I want to congratulate all my fellow inductees, especially Tasha. We always talked about how cool it would be to be inducted together, and I'm bummed I'm missing out in person. It has been a great honor to share the field with you, Natasha. Enormous gratitude to all of the following people. My coaches, too many to list, but you know who you are. That's what coaches get. My Olympic coaches, I learned a lot from you throughout my career. My strength coach, Carla, she has always been there for me. She pushed me past my limits and held me to a higher standard. Gary Wardine, who at an early age helped me follow my dreams. His kindness and generosity paved the way for my softball career to flourish. Tony Rico taught me how to hit, but more importantly, taught me how to be a critical thinker in our game. Last but not least, Ronnie, affectionately known as Bear by many of us, was a constant in my life with the utmost love for softball. He has the biggest heart of anyone I know, always a positive fixture in the dugout and in my life. Coach, need I say more? I ask if you can accept my Hall of Fame induction in my place. You accepted without hesitation. I couldn't ask for a better coach, mentor, and friend. You brought softball back into my life when I thought it was gone. I learned from the best on the field. More importantly, you taught me how to be a good person and stand behind my beliefs. You're always there for me and stepped into my life when I needed it the most. Thank you for helping my family and I build a better foundation. None of this would have been possible without your unwavering support. You always know what to say and when to say it, something I use daily with being a mama. My teammates are the best in the business. They sure were. I looked up to all of my teammates and was constantly learning from them on and off the field. Our team was diverse in many ways. I could look at Lisa when I needed to get my butt up and work harder. I would lean on Bustos for her kindness and hitting expertise. Leah and Lori listened with an open heart. A quiet leader and the hardest worker on the field, Bergie, taught me to bust my ass when no one was watching. My competitiveness hit another level when I started playing college ball with Finch. All of my teammates were a huge influence in molding me as a player and a human being. Thank you for paving the way for all the little girls out there to follow their dreams. Last but not least, my family. My mom and dad who spent endless hours and days at the softball field. Always there for me through the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. The endless amounts of conversations. They always knew when to tell me to get my head out of my ass. Lovey's words. And when to pat me on the back. I couldn't have asked for more. My brother was a positive light in my life, always supportive and never wavered from helping me when I needed the support. John was always there for me when I fell flat on my face, telling me to get up and do it again, a true role model of mine who knew how to play the game. And to all my failures, this would not have been possible without you. I failed time and time again, but you taught me to make adjustments, and over time, I learned how to succeed. Thank you to USA Softball for making this little girl's dreams come true. Lovey Jung.
Our third inductee of the night is a five-time All-American fast pitch player. Terry Muck played 15 years of major men's fast pitch softball. He made 11 appearances in the ASA National Championships. Terry was the premier second baseman of his time, but occasionally was moved to shortstop, a position where he continued to excel. At the ripe age of 20, Terry was drafted by the Atlanta Braves organization in 1968 and played in their minor leagues for 2 seasons. Terry was an amazingly fast player on offense and defense. He was, by all accounts, the fastest from home to first of any other player in his era. Batting from the left side, he put pressure on the defense as he was among the best bunters in the game. But he also hit the long ball, so defenses never quite sure knew how to play him. Tonight, Terry becomes a member of the National Softball Hall of Fame, now and forever. Terry Muck, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the honor of being inducted into the USA Softball Hall of Fame. When the news came that I'd been elected to the Hall of Fame, great memories came flooding back. And in the midst of those memories, I came to a conclusion. I want to share that with you tonight. The conclusion is this. In men's fast-pitch softball, it's highly unlikely any player will achieve Hall of Fame recognition without playing with teammates who have Hall of Fame qualities. Now, to be sure, good teammates are important in any game played on a diamond. But great teammates are especially important, crucial even, in fast-pitch softball because of the nature of the game. So let me take a moment to explain that to you. Of course, Hall of Fame fast-pitch softball players have to have talent. But so do a lot of other players who are never considered Hall of Fame caliber. So you have to have talent, but it isn't the only thing. Hall of Fame softball players generally have great statistics for their time of playing. But in men's fast-pitch softball, statistics can be misleading. As you all know, there is only one person on a men's fast-pitch softball team who can register what appear at first glance to be Hall of Fame statistics, and those are the pitchers. I played behind some great pitchers, Al DeWall, Bob Trapp, Dutch Elbers, Pete Carlson, Dick Brubaker, and they all had unbelievable statistics, strikeouts, no-hit games, and whatever. But for the rest of us, the position players, I was a second baseman, the statistics don't really sound so impressive. Perhaps a more telling indicator of a Hall of Fame career is the number of championships a player has won, or the number of national all-star teams the player has made. The best players, as you know, tend to congregate on the best teams, and the best teams usually make the national tournament, and those players then have a chance to be on the all-star team. And it seems like the really good players always dominate those teams. When I was playing, the great teams were in places like Clearwater, Florida, Stratford, Connecticut, Reading, Pennsylvania, Aurora, Illinois, where I played, Seattle, Washington, St. Paul, Minnesota, Midland, Michigan, Decatur, Illinois. So you have talent and statistics and performance by winning tournaments and being on all-star teams. So what else is left? This was my great insight. I'll let you judge whether it's a great insight or not. There's more to it than that. And the more to it, I think, is great teammates. Teammates who fully understand what it means and what it takes to win fast-pitch softball games. Here's what I mean by that. Pitchers dominate our game. It's not unusual for them to strike out 10 or more batters in a 7-inning game. 1 or 2 runs often win games. But those 1 or 2 runs are frustratingly hard to come by. In a fast-pitch softball game, a walk is a rally. An error by the opposing team is a major gift. A scratch single, a ground ball with eyes that dribbles between the first and second baseman, is an occasion for celebration. Yet it usually takes 3 or 4 of those tiny events, a walk, a sacrifice bunt, a passed ball, for example, to score a run. There are at least a score of these one-base events, I call them one-base events, that can be used in run making. But to put 3 of them together is the trick. A fielder's choice, a balk, a sacrifice fly, a drop third strike, catcher's interference, a squeeze play. Not only is it difficult to put 3 or 4 one-base events together, not all of them are in our power to create. A few of them, to be sure, are the result of our skill and hard work. A base hit, a walk, a fielder's choice, sacrifices, both bunts and fly balls. We can take credit for those. But many of them are the results of errors and mistakes on the part of our opponents. Fielding and throwing errors, pass balls, balks, mental mistakes all come to mind. And a few of these one-event things are just plain serendipitous. They're gifts of the softball gods. You hit a ground ball and you hit a rock and goes into the outfield. Or an umpire's mistake. Umpires don't make many mistakes, I know, but occasionally they do. Or a fly ball lost in the sun. Those things just come your way. Now, what, you may be asking, does this have to do with Hall of Fame recognition? Well, try this. The Hall of Fame fast-pitch softball player is the one who is ready and willing to take any and all of these tiny, seemingly meaningless one-base events that come our way, whether we create them or our opponents gift them or the softball gods bestow them. Hall of Fame players do everything in their power to make them happen. Recognize them for what they are when they do happen, and have faith and confidence that whoever is following us in the lineup will display a similar grittiness in doing their very best to add a second or a third or a fourth one-base event in a row that may just produce a run. We were tied 1-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning of the final game of a national championship tournament. I led off the inning with a walk. Darrell Day, batting behind me, intentionally pulled a high chopped grounder between first and second base. The second baseman got to the ball, barely, and threw Darrell out at first, but it allowed me to get to second base. And then our number 3 hitter, Bill Pfeiffer, who you'll hear from in a minute, looped a single over the shortstop's head, scoring me with the go-ahead run. Dick Brubaker, our pitcher, came in and pitched a scoreless 7th inning, and we were champions. A walk, a fielder's choice, a single, a shutdown pitching performance. And all 4 of those players that I mentioned have been inducted into the USA Softball Hall of Fame. And 3 of them, I'm happy to say, are here this evening. Thus, that's my conclusion. I am here this evening because of my teammates. I am grateful to USA Softball for this recognition. Thank you very much. But I am even more grateful to Darrell Day, Bill Pfeiffer, Dick Brubaker, and a lot of other teammates I played with over the years because they made it possible. They understood fast-pitch softball and had the willingness and humility to scrap for a seemingly inconsequential one-base event because they knew they could rely on their teammates to supply the other 2 or 3 that were necessary to score a run. Thank you. Actually, I'm especially proud also that my 3 sons, David, Paul, and Joe, who spent a good share of their childhood running around the ballpark, I'm glad that they're here this evening with their wives and helping to my wife Frances and I celebrate this wonderful event. Thank you very much.
Our 4th inductee tonight packed a lot of power at the plate, sealing his place in men's fast-pitch softball history. Bill was an outstanding outfielder who played the game for a long period of time at the highest level of competition. He never considered himself to be entitled or above anyone on the team and always led by example. His speed in the outfield greatly aided his team always defensively, and coupled with his hitting against the best pitchers, his speed made him an offensive problem for the opposition. Bill was selected to the All-American team 8 times, dating back to 1975 through 2001. He was a teammate with Terry Muck during the 70s and 80s as a member of a team that was always nationally ranked in the country. Bill continued to compete at the open level and later at the senior level for many years. Tonight, Bill Pfeiffer becomes a member of the National Softball Hall of Fame now and forever. Please welcome Bill Pfeiffer.
Got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body, it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights, when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine, nothing I can see but you when you dance, 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 feel good creeping up on.
Well, Phil, wow, right? Wow. I don't know if I should just ditto what Terry said, just walk off the stage, but I'm not going to do that. I'd like to first thank the staff. We've been working together now for a year and a half, 2 years. Had many questions asked, many answers given. Also, the selection committee. I'm on my high school Hall of Fame selection committee, so I know how tedious it can be at times getting nominees in and having to make these decisions. So thank you very much. I'd also like to say thanks to the family, my wife Linda, my sons Dave and Jim, and who else I got? Oh, my brother, there's Jeff, and sister Chris, and Andrew, my nephew, and over in this table, all my wonderful friends who came to celebrate with me today. I'd also like to point out, I got a friend over there, Dave Todd, who actually sent in the initial letter to get the ball rolling here on the induction. So thank you, Dave, very much. This journey of mine didn't start in a vacuum. I was born and raised in Aurora, Illinois. For many years, we were a powerhouse town with a very good men's fast-pitch softball team. And my brother, Jeff, myself, and our father used to go to SA Field, watch the Seal Masters play. So I had a pretty good idea of the game of fast-pitch when I was younger. And I think like most of us here who played the game, you probably started playing it as a baseball player, which I did. I played all the way through my college days at Illinois Wesleyan University. But I always knew that if I couldn't make it in baseball, I could always get back home and play the game of fast pitch softball. That's exactly what happened. So in my days of playing, as the bio says, I played in many, many national tournaments, many tournaments to get us to the national. And I played in 3 sports festivals and a number of states. I think I figured over 20 states that we played, our team played, and in at least 3 countries, and Pan Am for the Pan Am Games, in Canada and in Japan for friendship games that we played over there. So I'm really thrilled that I was able to play the game for so many years and do these many things and play at so many different venues. Well, just a little insight. But Terry hit it on the nose as far as it's a game of individuals that play as a team. So there's a lot of individuals that help both us and whoever makes the National Hall of Fame to help us get here. So I would like to acknowledge those people, and so many of them, so many people. As far as the Pan Am Games went, in the spring of 1973, was asked to go to Colorado Springs with 59 other players and try out for that team. I think it might have been one of the first times they had an actual tryout rather than have maybe a champion from the previous year play in those games. So we had 60 guys split up in 4 different teams. They rotated the pitchers, so these guys could pound on us, a different pitcher all the time. And I was fortunate enough to make that team. Also in that year was my first time I came to Oklahoma City. Our team was scheduled to play a couple games against the local team here, and it just coincidentally, the dedication of the Play at the Plate, the statue at the Hall of Fame Museum, was being dedicated at that time. So we were asked to be there, and we went, and we were glad we did. Also, of the members of the that 16 team that went to the Pan American Games, 11, now with me involved, 11 of us are in the hall. So the selection committee did a pretty nice job of picking this team. I played for many years, like you said, I played in the Masters tournaments too, and I really enjoyed those. And I hope they never get rid of the Masters tournaments, because there's many of us that want to continue to play the game at older levels, and so just keep that going. Also, I think it's important that as players, we do our best to continue supporting this game and this organization. And 22 years ago, I started the Aurora Fast Pitch Association. We're an umbrella organization for our major men's team. We have women's and girls teams, travel teams, and we also have adult league. And a couple years ago, we acquired the field, so we have our own field. So that makes it nice. And so it's just some things that you can do when you're not playing the game. And I would hope that we have. Now, I know everybody out there you're here for the most part, most of you, for an extended weekend. You have decisions to make, discussions over the next 3 or 4 days, and I applaud you for all your efforts and time that you spend doing this. So, not to be up here too long, I really appreciate being here, and I'm really honored, and thank you very much.
Our next inductee for the 2020 Hall of Fame class is an 11-time All-American men's slow pitch player. Doug Roberson was an outstanding all-around slow pitch softball player. As we all know, stats certainly come into play with any potential nominee, and Doug Roberson has those. From 1985 to 1999, he accumulated over 4,100 plus hits, 2,000 plus home runs, and a batting average of .701. Yet he was as known for his defense as much as he was for his offensive play. He was a 2-time National Defensive MVP Award winner, including the Wilson's Fieldmaster Award as the Outstanding Defensive Player of the 1990 ASA Super Nationals. He is considered to be one of the best outfielders to ever play the game, featuring one of the strongest arms the game has ever seen. This game has seen numerous players who can hit or defend. The special players are the ones who do both exceedingly well, and Doug Roberson was one of the best ever. Tonight, Doug Roberson becomes a member of the National Softball Hall of Fame now and forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Roberson.
Well, first of all, I'd like to start by thanking the nomination and the voting committee for considering me for this prestigious honor and award. Also, I would like to extend my congratulations to all the inductees for their wonderful achievements that they have achieved to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I would also like to thank Mike Masinko, who actually has really gotten the ball rolling for a lot of our ball players in our era, getting us recognized through the USA and ASA committee for us to be recognized. My career started back on the softball level back in early 1980s, ended in the early 2000s. With a career spanning of 17 plus years, I can honestly tell you about all the countless travel hours, all the field time, all the workout, the gym time, getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, working out until 8, going to work for another job, and then going that evening to hit softballs, at least 200 to 300 softballs every evening before you could go travel on the weekend. I was fortunate enough in my career to play with 2 of the best outfielders that you could possibly play with. One was the 2019 inductee, Britt Hightower, and the other one is my fellow inductee, which couldn't make it here tonight, was Cecil Whitehead. Between us 3, I don't believe that there was too many balls that fell in between us that hit the grass. We could run them down with the best of them, jump into the fence, over the fence, whatever it took. I have a lot of great memories with the ASA tournaments, going from Waterloo all the way to Oklahoma City here, where they actually, when they first built the stadium there, we played in one of the first national championship tournaments there. And they've done a lot to that stadium since then. They've really done a lot of improvement to it. I am blessed also throughout my career to have great sponsors with going through this game that actually loved the game as much as each individual player did. They were there every weekend constantly got you to the tournament, got you back home, were there for every game, every weekend. And that would be Frank Ladiano, which was one of the great tournaments for Riches Superior, one of the great sponsors. Andy Beloli and Kurt Beloli, they were all the great sponsors, and plus Coy Honeycutt, which was all part of our sponsors of Riches Superior and Superior Apollo. When I look back on the game, the opportunities of playing the game I truly loved, and did it for what it meant for me and my family. We all loved it, endured it, and I just was thankful that I had a family that would actually love the game of softball. My wife, which was my staple and my rock throughout this whole thing, that really, you just got to have that. When you leave every Thursday and you're flying back every Monday, you know, you're leaving your children, your family at home, and when you come home, they welcome you with open arms, and they're just fantastic. Sometimes they get to go, you know, not all the time, but sometimes. But it was just enjoyable, and you know, I'm blessed with my son, my oldest son. He graduated the University of Miami. He played Division I baseball. My middle one, and my youngest ones, which couldn't be here tonight, every one of them played Division I baseball, which makes parents just so proud to see them flourish in what they're doing in their life and their careers. And again, I really just want to thank the committee for just considering me for this wonderful and prestigious honor. Thank you so much.
Our next inductee is a power-hitting slugger who was an 8-time All-American slow pitch player. Carl Rose. This one is a bit personal for me, but I'll get to that. Think about these stats. In 1991, he led the nation in home runs in batting. His home run frequency for his career was 2.5. 2 ASA Supernational Championships, an 8-time All-American team selection. He was certainly synonymous with home runs, but Carl Rose was simply a phenomenal hitter, period. But more importantly for me, he had a signature bat, the Carl Rose Lighthouse Bat, and I had one. Ironically, it didn't work as well for me as it did for him, but it was probably the best bat I ever had. I had a chance to watch him play in St. Augustine, Florida, either 1996 or 97, I believe. When teams found out that Carl Rose was there, wherever he played, the field was packed. Every time he came to the plate, people would be paying attention to what he was going to do. Every swing, every hit, it looked effortless. We all realized we were witnessing greatness, and today marks the day he gets his just recognition. Tonight, Carl becomes a member of the National Softball Hall of Fame now and forever. Carl passed away earlier this year. To accept his Hall of Fame honor on his behalf is his wife, Emily. Ladies and gentlemen, Emily Rose.
Saying anything, it's a little emotional. Jason Kendrick was trying to come so he could speak for him, but his flight was delayed, so he didn't make it. Just for everybody who made it possible, we still have so many friends in the softball world. Wendell Ricard, Mike Masinko. There's several that keep up with us and keep up with the kids. I have my youngest here, Austin, tonight. Our oldest, Kendall, and middle one, CJ, were unable to come. But just thank you to everybody.
Our next inductee is an Olympic gold and silver medalist who had a stellar career on the diamond, Natasha Watley. She is not just an Olympic and gold and silver medalist. She is a two-time Pan American gold medalist, a three-time WBSC world champion, a four-time NFCA All-America, a college World Series champion, Pac-10 Player of the Year, Broderick Cup winner as the nation's top collegiate female athlete. That alone gets you consideration for the National Softball Hall of Fame. However, her work off the field is impressive as well. Whether it's as a softball ambassador for Major League Baseball or with the Natasha Watley Foundation, the game of softball is in a better place because of her. It was Coach Mike Candrea who said, "She will go down as one of our greats to play the game, competitive, humble, talented, and a tremendous teammate." Tonight, Natasha Watley becomes a member of the National Softball Hall of Fame now and forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Natasha Watley.
Whatever it takes, 'cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I'll do whatever it takes, 'cause I love how it feels when I break the chains. Whatever it takes, you take me to the top. I'm ready for whatever it takes, 'cause I love the adrenaline in my veins. I'll do what it takes. Instead of fear of being typical, looking at my body feeling miserable, always hanging on to the visual. I wanna be invisible, looking at my years like I'm martyrdom. Everybody needs to be a part of them. Never be enough from the prodigal son.
Good evening, everyone. This is quite the night. This is awesome. I just first would like to thank all of USA Softball for this tremendous honor, and I also want to congratulate all the other inductees and also Lovey. I'm looking at Coach Candrea because you represent Lovey tonight. But Lovey said it so best. This is something that we dreamt about, just being able to see our heroes. I'm going through this book. My heroes are all in this book of inductees who have had this tremendous honor. So to be on that list with them, this is an incredible evening, and so extremely grateful for that. Just thinking about what USA Softball has meant to my life, and it's been quite the journey. It started a long, long time ago. I date back to the AS. We called it ASA. Can we say that? But I grew up in a USA uniform where it was a really pivotal time in my life where I was able to wear those incredible 3 letters across my chest and represent our country, represent our sport, represent my family. It's truly, when I look back, the best years of my life. And so coming through the USA system, I was always tested. I was always challenged. I learned to have tough skin and be resilient, a story that I love to share. And when I go on speaking tours, I always share this story. My very first encounter coming through a USA system was getting the invitation to try out for the junior national team in 1999. My fall going into what I would say my dream school, and we'll get to that later with Coach Candrea, and we'll get into that story, but I was coming off of a high time in my life where just excited to play this game and to go on to that next level, getting this envelope because just a couple years prior, my dad had taken me to the 1996 Olympic tour. I got to see Lisa Fernandez, Leo O'Brien, Amico, Laura Berg, all of these women who I looked up to, and to be able to see all these women, I'm like, okay, that's what I want to do. I want to represent my country playing this game that I love. So that junior national team tryout, let's just say I didn't rise to the occasion. It was the worst experience because I don't think I fielded the ground ball cleanly. I don't even think I hit a ball fair. But when I share this story, when I look back on that, that's what shaped me because I never wanted to go through that experience again, because I think having the system of having that junior national team where you get to fail and you get to learn, but it taught me down the road when I got that opportunity again, coming to 2001, I wasn't going to let that moment slip away. And that was my first year making a national team, getting the opportunity now to play for Coach Candrea, and just one of the most, and we'll get into that, like I have so many thank yous, but I think when I think about Coach Candrea, I think my path was amazing, because I got to play for first Coach Enquist and then going on to play for Coach Candrea, who definitely made me a better shortstop, made me a better athlete, made me a better teammate. But behind every accomplishment, every honor, is a village, and I definitely have a village that comes behind me. I've had so much support through coaches, teammates, friends, family. That's the reason why I've been successful. And just to kind of give some light to Sue Enquist and what she means to me, my coach at UCLA. She's also in this book of inductees in the Hall of Fame as well, and just has been a life mentor. She taught me how to compete. She believed in me. I will always say she's one of the hardest people on me outside of my parents, and I never understood why this woman was so hard on me. It's because she not only cared about the athlete I was, but who I was going to be after I left her program, and forever indebted to her. And so definitely have to give her a special shout out for her impact on my career. Coach Candrea, who I've mentioned before, he's always been a constant motivator. His calm demeanor, even when you just saw him come up here and accept Lovey's award, you never wanted to let him down, and he just carries this respect. And I talk about my recruiting trip going to, I was either UCLA, or it was going to be Arizona, and I almost committed to him, called my parents at home. My parents were like, well, just wait, because my dream was to be a Bruin, but I never wanted to let him down. And I think just the confidence that he instilled into his athletes, it's the reason why we were able to play at this top level, was because of the way he showed up for us. To my incredible USA teammates that push me to be better every single day, and it's truly special when they say, when you surround yourself with people who are the top and who are the elite, great things happen. Being able to be in a USA uniform, winning a gold medal, representing my country, and winning a silver medal, I was playing again with my heroes. I'll say them again: Lisa Fernandez, Leo O'Brien Amico, Laura Berg, Lori Harrigan. These are these women that, wow, like not many people get this opportunity to play with next to their heroes, and so it's just amazing to have had that opportunity. Also in the building tonight, my boyfriend, who didn't know me in my playing career, but who has been super supportive throughout my career past, and just in terms of just diving into the softball world. I think he's met the whole entire softball world and just our time of dating, and so just super grateful for his support. Dee and Tammy, who are my cousins, who are here tonight, who whenever we are in the region, whenever we're playing in Texas, they live in Dallas, I'm in California, they always make the drive. So thank you for making the 2-3 hour drive to be here tonight to represent our family and to be supportive of me. To my mom and my dad, who are my backbone. They are the reason why I've had any success in this game. I will forever be grateful for their sacrifices that they've made throughout the years. A couple who knew nothing about softball, and just because I loved the game, I was only child, so I got what I wanted, so that's probably part of it. But win, lose, success, fail, my parents were always there, and they were always a constant. And when we talk about that junior tryout, it was about, I don't know, we had an 1.5 hour, 2 hour drive after that tryout, and I think I boohooed the entire way. But their support, and I think just being able to push me along the way. I think my dad has always had my softball career already planned out in his, whether it was softball, basketball, whatever it was, but I chose softball. He always wanted me to be a basketball player, but whatever it was, I think he had that planned out, and I was his son, and I think I officially made girl dad being cool for him. And my mom, who's just taught me strength. She's taught me grit. She's taught me hard work. Honestly, just whatever you put your mind to, Tasha, go at it full blown, and just super supportive, and just love my mom and my dad for their support. Again, this is such an incredible honor. Just thank you for this time. This honor means so much to me, and thank you again, USA Softball. I love you guys all at the national office, and super appreciative of this honor. So thank you so much.
Our next inductee is considered by many to be one of the top players to ever play men's slow-pitch softball. Curtis Williams. Curtis Williams played at the highest levels of play from 1977 to 2000. Think about this. His first ASA All-American Award was in 1977, and his last was in the year 2000, the longest span between awards in history. He has been a part of 10 ASA national championship teams and has been a 13-time All-American selection. In 1988, he was the leading hitter for the men's slow pitch majors with an astonishing .880 batting average. On top of that, he was also a defensive MVP selection on 3 different occasions. It's one thing to play this game over an extended period of time, but Curtis Williams has not only played this game for over 3 decades, he played at the highest levels of play. There is no doubt the talent was always there, but one still has to work to sustain and improve one's game if you hope to achieve the types of individual and team goals that Curtis Williams aspired to. That work ethic has led him to today. Tonight, Curtis becomes a member of the National Softball Hall of Fame, now and forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Curtis Williams.
Rising up, back on the street. Did my time.
This cane's just temporary. I'm going to have surgery Friday to get this knee corrected. A lot of comments made by all the other inductees, kind of along the same line that I would like to talk on tonight. I would like to thank the USA National Softball Hall of Fame Committee for this selection to the 2020 Men's Slow Pitch Softball Hall of Fame. Now, this is an individual recognition for me, but like all the other members had stated, there are many other people that were involved in me receiving this honor. First, I'd like to thank Mike Basinko, Steve Dimitri for compiling my statistics and awards that I had received over the 30-plus years of playing from a journalist, Jerome Ernest, who had publications, and then those two submitted them to the Hall of Fame committee. I would like to thank my parents, Lavelle and Dean Williams, who are deceased, for bringing me up in a home that encouraged sports, were there to help teach, coach, and support me over the years. Many afternoons when I got out of school from teaching, I'd meet my father at the city park, and he'd pitch and hit balls to me to prepare me for the tournament that would be coming up the next weekend. I'd like to thank my wife, Susan, seated here at the table, my daughter, Selena, my son, Curtis Jr., for the support that they gave. Many weekends I would leave town on Friday and return Sunday night late and Susan was okay with that because she was normally be playing softball on the weekend somewhere else herself. If I was not playing, I'd be watching her, and if she was not playing, she would be watching me. Now, Susan, during her playing days, she was a slow pitch softball pitcher, so I had my own pitcher whenever needed, if I needed to go out and hit the backyard or go to the city park. One summer, our daughter was involved in modeling in New York City, and I was playing with a team, Lighthouse, out of Atlanta, and we'd go over to Central Park, and she'd pitch to me over to Central Park 2 days a week for the month time that we was there. So that was something kind of unique in our pitcher and hitter relationship. Now, if you ask Susan about my softball skills, she would tell you that she taught me most everything that I know. But the key thing is most. Now, we've been together supporting each other, and just this past September the 17th, we celebrated our 40th anniversary. So, love you for that. Growing up in Milton, Florida, softball was a sport that many loved playing, and there was always tournaments in our areas that drew good teams to compete against. Playing in cities like Tallahassee, Panama City, Niceville, Fort Walton, Milton, Pensacola, and Mobile, Alabama was a stepping stone that got me the chance to play with the teams that I was able to play with during my playing career. I was fortunate to play with great teams, sponsors, and teammates over the years. I would like to recognize some of these sponsors that gave me the opportunity to play for them and get the exposure that you only get by playing some of the best softball tournaments each year. I first started off playing with a team out of my hometown, Milton, Florida, a team called Joe's House of Pizza, and the owners of that pizza establishment were Ted and Joe Childers. Then I played with Harder's Construction, Jerome Ernest out of Panama City. Played with Jerry's Catering, Jerry Pendergast out of Miami, Florida. Played with Howard's Western Steer, Richard Howard out of Denver, North Carolina. Played with Ken Sanders Ford, Ken Sanders out of Augusta, Georgia. Played with Lighthouse, Cecil Alford out of Atlanta, Georgia. Played with Vernon Dubberly, Jacksonville, Florida. Played with Williams, Clarence Williams out of Spring, Texas. And played with Sunbelt, Wayne Williamson out of Centerville, Georgia. These teams were at the super level, so that was fortunate that gave me the exposure that got me inducted into the hall here tonight. Now, these sponsors that I've mentioned were great for the game of men's slow pitch softball, along with many others that fielded the team, such as the one that Doug played for, and Cecil played for, and Carl played for. I would like to thank the USA National Softball Hall of Fame Committee again for this selection. It is a great honor. I'd like to close with a statement that Lou Gehrig made on July the 4th, 1939. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Why? Because of all the good people in my life. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks, Stu, sir. All right. Our final inductee for the 2020 Hall of Fame class is considered by many to be another one of the top players to ever play the men's slow pitch game. Cecil Whitehead. 2 ASA Super National Championships, 1 ASA Major National Championship, 4 ASA Super National runner-up finishes, a 2-time All-American in 40 and over Masters slow pitch, and a 4-time All-American in 45 and over Masters slow pitch. And there's plenty more that we could review if we had the time. Cecil Whitehead played for some of the best slow pitch teams ever assembled, including Elite Coatings, who compiled a record of 332 and 35 in winning 40 out of 49 tournaments during the years of 1983 to 1985, as well as with Rich's Superior, in which they went 241-22, including winning 10 of 12 Grand Slam titles from 1991 to 1993. Yet when you look at his batting stats, it is apparent that Cecil Whitehead was consistently great. In 1983, he batted .680 for the season. In 1993, he batted .661. And in 1994, he batted .702. For his individual play and for his commitment to his teams, it is time for him to take his rightful place. Tonight, Cecil becomes a member of the National Softball Hall of Fame now and forever. Unfortunately, Cecil is unable to be here with us tonight, but we do have a video from him, so please watch the video of our newest inductee, Cecil Whitehead.
First of all, I'd like to say that I'm sorry that I can't be there tonight. I would like to thank ASA for this great honor, and also Mike Masinko and Steve Dimitri for nominating me. I would like to congratulate all of the inductees, especially Carl, Curtis, and Doug, with whom I played with and against throughout my softball career. They were great players and great teammates. I was fortunate to play on good teams with great players. I played in the 80s and 90s when softball was peaking. It was a great time in my life. The teams, players, coaches, and sponsors will always be a big part of my life. My biggest support has always been my wife and kids, and without them, I wouldn't be receiving this award. Tonight, it is a great honor to be elected into the ASA Hall of Fame. Thank you, God bless, and have a great night.
All I can say right now is, wow, what a fantastic evening, hearing stories and memories from years of outstanding play and commitment to the game of softball. Let's give our 2020 Hall of Fame class one more round of applause. You are now part of the USA Softball Hall of Fame family. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge some outstanding individuals who have been instrumental for this event. First, the Hall of Fame committee members. I thank you for all your time, dedication, and long hours in our meetings, including an over 3-hour meeting today. And National Office staff members, Dre McKee, Morgan Palmer, Ashley Nash, and Emily Moore for all their hard work behind the scenes in making this event a success. Thank you. Now some important news. The Hall of Fame committee did meet earlier today, as I mentioned, to determine the class of 2022. The following individuals have been selected are Kristen Dowling, slow pitch player. Slow pitch player, Rusty Baumgardner. Slow pitch player, Brett Helmer. Fast pitch player, George Noakes. Fast pitch player, Jeff Peck. Fast pitch player, Kat Osterman. Fast pitch player, Debbie Doom. Manager and coach, Steve Shortland. Umpire, Jeff Hansen. Sponsor, Al Savala. And meritorious service, Mike DeLeo. We congratulate all those people inducted for next year in 2022 in Shreveport, Louisiana. And last but not least, I'd like to thank you, everyone, for attending tonight's banquet. At this time, at the conclusion, we'd like to invite all the inductees and honorees here tonight back towards the backdrop over here for a class picture. And we ask you to do this as soon as we're done. We know you all have family and friends and you want to talk to everyone else, but we really would like to get this picture so everyone will have a shot to get their pictures up here. On behalf of everyone up here at our head table, thank you for attending tonight. Have a great night and safe travels home. Congratulations once again.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You can talk the guy, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you gon' find yourself
Standing in the Hall of Fame,
yeah.
and the world's gonna know your name.
Yeah.
'Cause you burn with the birth flame,
Yeah.
and the world's gonna know your name.
Yeah.
And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile. You can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try?
Do it for your country, do it for your name.
Cause there's gonna be a day when you're standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the birth flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion, be a champion, be a champion, be a champion. The walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions.